So hello, I've just woken up from a nap. So it's time to do my UFC fight now. Walker versus Ankalaev 2 recap. Starting off with the first fight of the night, we had Joshua Van versus Felipe Bunes, and this was a really good performance from Joshua Van. He looked really good, very good boxing. I will say one thing about Joshua Van, he does get hit quite a lot. He does get hit quite a lot. That is something you'll notice in his game. But he's got a very durable chin. He is very durable. He takes a lot of damage. Maybe they'll eventually catch up to him. But I didn't in this fight. He looks really good. Very good output as well. This guy's got some crazy output. Very fast hands. Very good hands. Like, this guy's just boxing is very nice. It's a treat to watch Joshua Van fight. Like, it really is. I love watching the guy box. The guy's hands are fucking slick. He's a very good fighter, is Joshua Van. Felipe Bunes as well. He looked very alright. For a 13-7 guy, he's not too bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Felipe Bunes was landing some big shots on Joshua Van, and Joshua Van was just like eating them like fucking dinner. He's just taking them. He's like, oh, give me more. I'm hungry, you know. Joshua Van, very good fighter, very good prospect to look out for in the flyweight division. You know, he's 3-0 now in that division, so you know he's on a good run. He is on a very good run. So it'll be interesting to see who they match him up with next. Not yet. I don't want to see the fight next, but Joshua Van versus Felipe dos Santos is such a good fight down the line. Just two very fun fighters, and I can't wait to see that fight. Then we had Nicholas Motta versus Tom Nolan. I spoke about this one briefly in my video, but I'll give it another little breakdown. Big Tom Nolan fan here. He did get caught. He got caught very badly here by Nicholas Motta. It was a shame to see. I think Tom Nolan is a lot better than he showed in this fight. I don't think he is a bad fighter. I know he got chinned in a minute, and it's hard to say, oh, is he really that good? He is a very good fighter. He still is a very good fighter, in my opinion. I just think he came in a bit too overconfident. He was a bit too reckless. He was coming in there with a mindset where he's going to, I'm going to go get a highlight reel KO for my UFC debut. People are going to know who I am after this. And, he paid for it. He went right in there with his hands down and got caught right on the chin. He went right into Nicholas Motta's game. The only way Nicholas Motta was going to win this fight is if Tom Nolan goes in there with his hands down and gets caught on the chin, and that's exactly what happened in this fight. So Nicholas Motta gets this one done. But I don't think that is it for Tom Nolan. He's only 23 years old. He is a very good fighter. He just abandoned his game plan a little bit. He went sort of like Cody Garbrandt out there. I'm probably one of the only people saying this. Everyone seems to be really just fucking shitting on Tom Nolan. But I do think he is still a very good fighter. His offense is great. His defense in that fight just wasn't the greatest, but he is still a very good fighter. Then but also very good knockout by Nicholas Motta as well. Not taking anything away from him. He capitalized. He got a very good shot, and he gets to keep his career. So, oh, bless me. Very good performance though by Nicholas Motta. Very good for the guy. I'm happy he gets to keep his job. I wish Tom Nolan won, but hey, it is what it is. Then we had Weston Wilson versus Jan Silva. What a fucking walkout by Jan Silva, sorry. Walked out some like cultic music. He was looking like a fucking cult leader out there. This was some Ministry of Darkness type shit. I don't know what the fuck he was planning out there. He looked like he wanted to sacrifice Weston Wilson to the devil or some shit. It was truly some demonic shit he was doing. Then Weston Wilson comes out like a goody two-shoes, coming out like, hey fellas, what are we doing, boys? Yeah, I'm Weston Wilson, hello guys. Like, I don't know, he comes out like that. Don't know why I made him sound like Robert Kennedy. But he comes out there all happy, like a fucking goody two-shoes, like fucking comes out like SpongeBob SquarePants out there. Comes out fight style, obviously trains with Wonderboy, has that karate style, but without any of the karate skills of Wonderboy. Comes out, throws a few shitty kicks out there that don't do anything. That 1-2, he was landing that 1-2, but like, Weston Wilson just isn't good. Like, I don't want to shit on the guy, he's not UFC level. He's just not. It's not a lie, I'm not being a dick. I know I'm not a fighter, I'm not a professional fighter either, but I am an analyst. I can say this. Weston Wilson just isn't UFC caliber. It's just true. I mean, the guy got knocked out by Takeshi Karawa like years ago, and Takeshi hadn't got a win. He was on like a 6-fight losing streak or something like that, and was cut from the UFC. I think it was Takeshi something, but still, Weston Wilson's not UFC level. Respect to the guy. I'm glad he got to the UFC. He got to show if he was or not. But it's just there's proof, there's evidence. He's not UFC level. Then we had Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapis. This was a great fight. This was generally a very fun fight. High pace fight as well. This is generally very high pace. The takedown defense from Taylor Lapis was looking amazing. He was looking like he had the best anti-grappling in the UFC at one point, because he was getting up after every takedown. Every time he'd get shot at, he'd get right back up, go to takedown shot him, he's back up. Like, Taylor Lapis, he looks fucking great. Even in the loss, he looked very good. He's got some very good takedown defense. I just want to get that out of the way. Even when he did get taken down a few times, he'd just bounce right back up. But eventually, once he started getting flattened out, he was like, yeah, he's not getting up back up from that. But, you know, there was moments where he was looking very good with the takedown defense. But Farid Basharat, his striking looked very improved. Like, he generally looked like a very good striker, very competent out there. Beat up Taylor Lapis a little bit on the feet. His body kicks were looking very tasty. Yeah, striking was just looking very good out there. For some reason, apparently there was only 42 significant strikes thrown from him. I could have sworn it was so much more. I was swearing he was landing so much more, but I don't know, maybe I was just losing it every time he'd land a shot or something. But he looked very improved out there, in my opinion. Striking looked improved. And Taylor Lapis isn't no slouch. He is generally a very good fighter himself. Then we had Marcus McGee versus Gaston Bolanos. Marcus McGee, this guy just fucking punches like a fucking tank, man. This guy's so powerful. Marcus McGee, you know, you mess with Marcus McGee, you get fucking cracked. Now, I'm not going to say, I don't know how good his power really is, because the guys he's fighting are at the highest level, but I'm pretty sure Gaston Bolanos hasn't been finished with strikes before. I'm pretty sure he's only been subbed. Now, I'm going to just double check that to see if I'm wrong. But I know Gaston Bolanos, he's not like a high level guy, but he's durable, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, I mean, he was in this fight. He took a lot of damage. Guillotine, triangle, yeah, so he's only been subbed. That was his first time being KO'd, so he's got a good chin, but Marcus McGee is just a different level of power. I also want to say this was a very good fight night card for the MMA Lab guys. It really shows, like, the guys that Sean O'Malley's training with are fucking great guys to train with. I'll get on to one of their teammates eventually later, but really good performance from Marcus McGee. Guy's powerful. Guy looked very slick out there. Yeah, this guy's just got them fucking nukes in his hands for sure. But very good performance by Marcus McGee. Just a fun performance. He looked like a Terminator out there. That's the best way I can perform it. Just moving forward, catching fucking Gaston Bolanos. And it'll be interesting to see who they get next. Live, I was saying maybe Farid Basharat next. But maybe you get Marcus McGee versus somebody else. Just outside the rankings, maybe. Maybe we get like a Marcus McGee. I'm not even quite sure off the top of my head. But Marcus McGee, he's like a 1 or 2 fights away from a ranked opponent. I know he hasn't beat the greatest guys, but he's an older fighter. So I'm not too opposed to like getting him up there a bit quicker. But he's a very good fighter, very powerful. Then we had Matthew Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. Now this was a weird one. I don't know what happened to Matthew Semelsberger, but his game plan here was very silly. He came with a very low output game plan here. When you're a power puncher, I don't know why power punchers do this. Quite a lot of power punchers do have this weird game plan where they go out there and instead of using what their strength is, which is knocking people out, they go out there and they sort of have like a low output pitter power game out there. Like, it was like going out there to like technically kickbox with Preston Parsons. I didn't quite understand that game plan. I thought that was a bit of a weird one, from Matthew Semelsberger. And obviously it didn't pay off here. Matthew Semelsberger eventually gets taken down multiple times, gets beat up on the feet a little bit. Preston Parsons was looking good with his leg kicks. He was kicking out the legs of Matthew Semelsberger. He was beating them up. Like, Preston Parsons looked really good in this fight. Like, he looked very good, looked very improved. And Evan Elder was a good win for Preston Parsons as well. Parsons is on, like, a pretty good win streak. I know he lost to Trevor Giles the fight before, but, that was a close fight and everything. Like, he's beat some good guys, is what I probably should have said. But, Preston Parsons, I didn't give him much respect coming to this fight. I thought Semelsberger was going to KO him in seconds, but, he came out with a low output game plan, and it didn't play off. It didn't pay off, and Preston Parsons gets this one done by decision. Then moving on, we had the legendary Andrei Arlovski versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Now, this was a very weird fight. like I don't even know how to talk about this fight. This is just a weird one in general. I thought Andrei Arlovski was going to go out there and get brutally chinned like immediately because he did get knocked out by Dontel Mays last year, and Dontel Mays isn't very good. So I was very shocked that this fight went for as long as it did. I mean, it went all 3 rounds. But, Waldo Cortez Acosta, he didn't look that good. I know he won, but it wasn't a great performance by any means. Andrei Arlovski went out there, did his typical point fighting style, but Cortez Acosta was just missing a lot of shots. And then he would dance, he'd make funny jokes, he'd try and point at him, he'd laugh at Andrei Arlovski, but he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't going in there for the kill, he wasn't trying to knock out Andrei Arlovski. And then when he would go and try, he would miss his shots and then start mocking him. It's like, it's such a silly thing to do. But, Waldo Cortez Acosta gets it done, but Andrei Arlovski still keeping it close. I don't know, that might be it for Andrei Arlovski. The UFC probably don't want to keep him around too much longer. They're paying him like $300K of every fight. But it'll be interesting to see what's next. But yeah, not a great performance by Waldo Cortez Acosta, but he does get it done. Then we had Bruno Ferreira versus Phil Hawes. Very good performance here by Bruno Ferreira. I mean, it was expected, right? The thing is, Phil Hawes, all the talent in the world, he is a very good fighter, but that chin just isn't good. His nickname's No Hype. In my opinion, it should be No Chin. Not to be disrespectful, but, Phil Hawes, he's been knocked out cold, like, what, 5 times now? Like, literally out cold? Like, let me check. He's been knocked out, and then he got subbed once. Head kick KO, Julian Marquez. KO punches from Chris Curtis. Nasruddin Amavov almost had him out. He had him wobbling. Kyle Dawkins had him rocked. Roman Dolidze knocked him out cold. Ikram Aliskerov knocked him out cold. Bruno Ferreira knocked him out cold. He's just been knocked out cold so many times. He has all the talent in the world. He was a standout wrestler. He has a Muay Thai background. He went to Thailand, started training. He looked very crispy against Ikram Aliskerov, but his chin's just not there, man. If he wants to keep fighting, I think he's got to really change his game plan. He's got to go back to using that wrestling, because he can't be afforded to stand and bang with these guys on the feet, because he's going to get knocked out. He has to really change his game plan, because he's got all the talent in the world, but when you have a chin like that, it's just hard. But a good win for Bruno Ferreira. He used a bit of his judo. He got a takedown where I thought he almost knocked Phil Hawes out with a judo trip, but he didn't. And then he does get him out of there. To be fair to Phil Hawes, he did take a lot of damage, a lot of big knees, so his chin got a bit better, and then he just got KO'd again. But yeah, good performance by Bruno Ferreira. Called out Sharaputin Magomedov. I'd love it. If he can do that for Saudi Arabia, I'm down for it. If Ferreira can turn around quickly, let's do that fight. That'd be a sick fight. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be a fire fight I'd love to see. Then we had Mario Batista versus Ricky Simone. Mario Batista, I'm not going to lie, this guy really impressed me in this fight. I was a bit down on him a little bit as a prospect after his last fight against Damon Blackshear. I was thinking, shit, maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. But you know what? Completely changed my mind in this fight. He looked really solid out there. He generally looked very good. Beat up on Ricky Simone. I don't think he won that first round. I thought Ricky Simone should have got that first round. He did knock him down, but maybe it was an off-balance knockdown. But I sort of thought Ricky Simone won that first round. But outside of that, Mario Batista just beat the shit out of him, man. He beat him up. I was impressed with his boxing, his pace in that fight. I didn't remember Mario Batista having such good boxing, but he was going 1-2-3, 1-2-3 body shot, 1-2-3 body shot, 1-2, body shot head. He was just doing a lot of nice, slick boxing counters in this fight. He looked quick. He looked very good in that fight. So I was very impressed with Mario Batista. And I was going to say, MMA Lab guys are doing good. These are the guys Sean O'Malley's training with. Why do you think he's so good? He can get the fantastic grappling from Mario Batista. Some slick boxing as well from Mario Batista. He trains with Marcus McGee, so he can deal with the big power shots and everything like that. There are so many, training at the MMA Lab must be great, especially if you're a non if you're none of those guys, if you're some up-and-coming bantamweight, or even a flyweight like Clayton Carpenter, you have all these different styles to work around with. You can get rounds in with a big, powerful guy like Marcus McGee. You can get rounds in with a very slick striker with Sean O'Malley, very what's the way, like a very flow state striker in Sean O'Malley. You can get some good boxing rounds with Mario Batista and also some good grappling. Like it's a very good gym if you're a bantamweight, flyweight, featherweight. I reckon because there's so many guys around your size coming out of that gym. Then we had Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. This was just an absolute fucking barn burner fight. Very good performance by Jim Miller. They were going back and forth. Jim Miller was looking very slick. Good body shots, good kicks, going upstairs very well. I was very impressed with Jim Miller's body shots. He was mixing them in very well. And also, every time he shot a takedown, he just immediately got it. So I feel like he could have just won this fight if he just wrestled straight away. But I like seeing him get some offense on the feet. He looked very good out there. Gabriel Benitez. I was also shocked that Jim Miller was the one going out there with all the low kicks. I would have thought that was Gabriel Benitez who would do that, so that shocked me a little bit. But generally, very good performance from Jim Miller. Get that man on UFC 300. He wants it. We want it. Just make it happen. I'd love to see the Paul Felder fight. I think he said that he thinks the Matt Brown fight's more likely, but I wouldn't mind either of them fights. Either of them fights are fucking good fights to have. So we'll see what happens with either of them. But yeah, Jim Miller's still doing the damn thing at 40 years of age. And, Jim Miller said that he's not retiring after UFC 300. He wants to keep going. So, yeah, it'll be great to see. I'm fucking down for it. I'd love to see it. Jim Miller, 55 fights. He's an absolute legend of the game. And him versus Matt Brown would be sick. Two guys who just want to keep fighting. Just two old veterans. I'm down for it. Jim Miller said he wants to go to, welterweight. Let's do it. He's an older fighter. Let's let him stop cutting after cut to lightweight. And it could extend his career even longer, moving up a weight class, in my opinion. So I'm definitely down for that. Then we had Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker showing no respect to Magomed Ankalaev in that first round, just playing with him, grabbing him, going boom, boom, boom with him, messing around with him. But very good performance here from Johnny Walker, from Magomed Ankalaev. He had a very good performance. I was loving it. I was loving the performance here. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking, damn, Johnny Walker's looking good. He's mixing up low kicks. I'm thinking, damn, this is a good game plan to have against Magomed Ankalaev. But then, second round, Magomed Ankalaev is starting to pressure him a little bit. He's pressuring more. Johnny Walker's sort of not wilting, but he's following Magomed a bit more. He's getting pressured against the fence a bit more. And then Magomed Ankalaev just catches him on the chin and has him not out cold, but he knocks him down and then uppercuts him. And his nose literally fucking explodes. That's the best way I can say. His nose actually exploded in that fight. His nose got broken, but Magomed Ankalaev wins. He called out for Alex Pereira. He called for a UFC light heavyweight title shot. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not quite sure what he's going to do. Maybe he sits out. Maybe he takes a Khalil Roundtree fight or something in the meantime. I just don't think he'll get a title shot. Jamal Hill's right there. But if he does, I wouldn't mind it. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I sort of think Magomed could beat him. But he also said that he would go and fight Alex Pereira and not shoot a takedown, which it doesn't mean that. He wouldn't do that. He would definitely shoot a takedown. No way he would be dumb enough to go in there and stand and bang with Alex Pereira. But who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe it'll work and it'll pay off. We're in a weird stage of MMA where people just get beat at their own games by fighters that shouldn't beat them. So maybe that just goes and then happens and we're all shocked. But I doubt it. I really do highly doubt it. Magomed Ankalaev's really going to not use a major part of his game. It would be a very silly decision in my opinion. But stranger things have happened. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this card in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment. If you're not already subscribed, put on notifications. I'm grinding. I'm on the grind, man. I'm on a fucking absolute grind right now. So make sure you subscribe and follow the journey. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Peace. Bye-bye.